framework of a company and the leaders and employees who work with it. The article I have chosen is Structure That's Not Stifling by Ranjay Gulati. Sometimes you think that being alone at your job, you do your best work. You don't have any distractions or managers who are watching every move you make. Having people around you is a little intimidating and ideas will come to you when you least expect it. Leaders should have a trusting relationship with their employees because if you don't trust them, how can you be at ease that you have a great image of your company? Employees should be confident and assertive. In every company, there should be a purpose, priority, and principles, and you will see later on these three elements are very important to an organization. The article I have chosen is about leaders and how they frame the workplace for employees. Leaders give their employees room to create ideas and make smart decisions when needed. But the problem is management can have trouble resolving tension between employee empowerment and operational discipline. Guidelines help clear the path for employees to support the organization and where it needs to be headed. There is a framework to this idea, a purpose, priority, and principle. Freedom in this case defines as trusting employees to think and act independently as well as expressing themselves. To expand an employee's freedom, there are factors that must be accounted for, such as commitment, performance, and innovation. Leaders should put trust in their employees because they most likely hired them in the first place. In the article, there were some examples of the framework and how it works in different types of organizations. Netflix employees make their own choices about vacation time, maternity leave, and travel expenses rather than asking HR for permission. Employees are also encouraged to communicate openly and have their own point of view. Some of you might be asking, how do Netflix employees have so much freedom? If you think about it, mistakes that can be made don't really endanger people's health or lives. There are over 3,500 employees that work for Netflix, and the freedom they have is pretty high than what would be tolerated for any other business. Netflix's purpose is to provide entertainment to their customers. Their priority is to have employees engaged in this business and have the business best interests at heart. Their principle is people over process. They work as a dream team to become a successful organization. The sayings trust your gut and do the right thing and whatever it takes are supervisors from Alaska Airlines' mantra for their employees. Employees were urged to help passengers on a flight and do whatever they need to do to make the customer comfortable. Their number one priority is safety of their passengers. Their purpose is to safely transport passengers to their destination while employees understand their decision-making power and how it is related to the company and their goals. A lot of events have occurred with the airline business, including an Alaska flight that went down in the Pacific Ocean and killed all 88 people on board in 2000. 1 year later, September 11th happened and air travel plummeted. Their principle and goal was to help employees grow from the experiences that have happened and to not punish them for any choices that they have made. Alaska Airlines then defined their 4 standards of service: safety, caring, delivery, and presentation. After all this has been implemented, Alaska Airlines received the highest customer satisfaction ranking among other airlines. Bartlett is an organizational theorist and Ghoshal is a management professor. They have determined a model to help leaders know what exactly a framework is and how it functions. We bring back the 3 keys to a successful framework. First, the company needs a purpose, the why of the organization. Then you need to establish priorities, the rules that reflect the organization's goals. Finally, there needs to be a set of principles to help employees choose among different options during their day at work. To think of these standards in a different way, take improv for example. An improvised theatrical mini-drama where the individuals are acting out random scenes and get ideas from the audience. The purpose is to entertain, the priorities are to be hilarious and interactive, and the principles are situations and dialogues. The key points is to remember that a framework needs maintenance and energy put into it. Leaders must believe in the culture of the framework because if not, the framework will not be successful, nor will your organization be successful. The information in this article is related to my workplace because working in a hospital at all hours of the day, you don't have a manager there to help you at all times. There are so many employees in a hospital and very few leaders. When you are working alone during an overnight shift, you are your own leader, and you need to make decisions on your own. You have to think of the best decision possible because if you don't, then something wrong can happen. For example, if a doctor calls from a floor and they want to schedule an exam for a Sunday night, and that exam is done usually on the weekdays, you need to determine if that is an emergent case and if you have to call the on-call staff to come do the exam. Every company has a mission, whether it is a grocery store, a bank, or a hospital, there will always be a mission. Employees must believe in this mission in order to grow in the company and agree with its values. Leaders can ask in an interview, what is the mission of this company? If the interviewee isn't sure, how do you know that person will strive and work within your framework? Having employees who believe as much as the leaders will head the company towards success because then customers will trust in the company. Some takeaways from this article are some quotes I found in another article that greater defines framework and success, which are, a framework will never be successful without total buy-in and involvement from the organization's leadership. And the future is agile, and the best way to stay afloat is to waste no time in creating the organization today you hope to be in the future.